poor black boy sold water to save his mum. Then a miracle happened. A boy, his mother, and a promise. In a forgotten corner of a busy city, where tall buildings touched the clouds but poverty crawled in the shadows, lived a 12-year-old black boy named Emmanuel. People called him Little Eman because of his small height, but everyone knew inside this little boy lived a heart bigger than the world. Eman lived with his mother, Mara, in a tiny broken house with a tin roof that made noise every time the wind blew. He didn't own toys, gadgets, or even a bed of his own, just a thin mat on the ground. But he had something many people with big houses didn't: love. The purest kind. His mother was his world, and he was hers. Every morning he woke up before sunrise and whispered the same words.
"Mama, one day I'll take you out of all this struggle. I promise."
He didn't know when or how, but he believed.
And sometimes
Belief is the first miracle. The sickness. Mara had been coughing for weeks. At first, she hid it from Eman, smiling through the pain, pretending it was nothing serious. But a mother's eyes can lie.
a mother's heart cannot.
One night, when the rain was heavy and the wind howled like wolves, Eman heard her cough uncontrollably. He rushed to her side.
"Mama, Mama?"
He touched her forehead. It felt like burning coal. Her breaths were short, sharp, painful. He didn't wait. Barefoot, he ran outside in the storm,
knocking on neighbors'
doors until someone helped him take her to the nearest public hospital. Inside, the doctor checked her quickly, frowned, then sighed deeply. "Son," he said softly, "your mother needs urgent treatment."
Without it,
He stopped. He didn't need to finish. Eman swallowed, his heart trembling.
"How much will it cost, sir?"
The doctor wrote the number on a corner of paper and pushed it toward him. Eman stared at it. It looked like a mountain.
A mountain impossible for a poor boy to climb.
But he didn't cry.
Not yet.
Instead, he held his mother's trembling hand and whispered, "Mama, I'll get the money."
Even if I have to walk the whole city.
The first bottle of water. The next morning, Eman woke before sunrise.
He had no savings.
He had no job. He had nothing except determination. He went to a small, old shop owner who knew him well and asked,
"Uncle, can I take some water bottles? I will sell them and return you the money."
The old man looked into the boy's eyes and saw something unbreakable. He nodded.
"Take them, son."
No need to return anything. But Eman shook his head. "No, Uncle, please let me work."
"I don't want charity. I want dignity."
The shopkeeper smiled sadly and handed him a crate. And that's how a 12-year-old boy became a street vendor. Under the scorching sun, with cracked slippers and dusty feet, he stood on a busy street, holding the bottles up, shouting softly,
Cold water.
"Just $1, please." People walked past him. Some ignored him.
Some laughed.
Some pitied him, and some didn't even see him.
Hours passed.
His throat dried.
His legs hurt.
But he kept whispering to himself, "Mama needs me."
Mama needs me.
The city that never looked at him. Day after day, Eman stood in the same place. Sometimes he sold one bottle, sometimes none. People were always in a hurry. A meeting to catch, a train to board, a life moving too fast to notice a struggling child. Some drivers rolled up their windows the moment they saw him. Some treated him like he was invisible. One day, a group of boys mocked him. "Hey, water boy, how much will you make?"
$5? 10?
Then they laughed as they walked away. That night, Eman cried silently beside his mother's hospital bed. He didn't cry because they mocked him. He cried because he felt the clock ticking. His mother didn't have much time, but after crying, he wiped his tears and whispered,
"I will not give up, not until the last breath in my body. 'Cause sometimes..."
Hope becomes stronger when life becomes harder. He decided not to beg.
Eman could have begged. People would probably give him money faster.
But he refused. "I will not cry on streets."
"I will not ask anyone to feel sorry for me. I will work."
So he tried new places, traffic lights,
Market corners,
bus stations,
outside offices,
on crowded highways, near schools. He walked miles each day with a crate heavier than his shoulders. Sometimes the heat was unbearable. Sometimes he fainted for a moment and stood back up. Sometimes he prayed quietly.
God, please help me.
But every night he breathed into his mother's ear.
Mama, hold on. I'm trying.
Chapter 5, The Day Everything Changed. It was a boiling afternoon, the kind that burns skin and melts strength. Eamon stood at a traffic signal holding 2 bottles in his shaking hands. His lips were dry,
His skin burned, his body weak from exhaustion.
He didn't know he was about to collapse. A driver looking at his phone didn't notice him coming too close.
A sudden horn, a sudden scream. Eamon lost consciousness and fell on the roadside.
He decided not to beg,
Eamon could have begged. People would probably give him money faster.
but he refused. I will not cry on streets.
I will not ask anyone to feel sorry for me. I will work.
So he tried new places,
Traffic lights, market corners,
bus stations,
outside offices.
on crowded highways, near schools. He walked miles each day with a crate heavier than his shoulders. Sometimes the heat was unbearable. Sometimes he fainted for a moment and stood back up. Sometimes he prayed quietly.
God, please help me.
But every night he breathed into his mother's ear.
Mama, hold on. I'm trying.
Chapter 5, The Day Everything Changed. It was a boiling afternoon, the kind that burns skin and melts strength. Eamon stood at a traffic signal holding 2 bottles in his shaking hands. His lips were dry,
His skin burned, his body weak from exhaustion.
He didn't know he was about to collapse. A driver looking at his phone didn't notice him coming too close.
A sudden horn, a sudden scream. Eamon lost consciousness and fell on the roadside.
When he opened his eyes, a group of strangers surrounded him. One woman gave him water.
Another fanned him with a newspaper. A man asked its son what happened, and for the first time,
Eamon spoke his full truth. He told them everything. His mother, her illness, the hospital bill, the water bottles, the sleepless nights, the empty stomach, the fear of losing her, the promise he made. People listened. Some cried. Some held his hand. One lady whispered, "Where is your mother, sweetheart?" "At the hospital," he weakly replied.
and that moment,
Something magical began. The video that exploded. Among the people there was a young man holding a phone. He had recorded the last few minutes. The boy fainting, people helping him, his heartbreaking story. He posted the video online with a caption. "This boy is selling water to save his mother's life."
please help him.
He had 2,000 followers. Nothing big. But the video touched hearts. People started sharing. 2,000 views, 50,000, 50,000, 400,000, 400,000, 1 million, 1 million, 10 million. Within 24 hours, the whole city knew about Eamon. In comments, people wrote, "Where is the boy now? We want to help. Where is his mother? This child must not suffer alone. Let's find him." But the biggest miracle was yet to come. Chapter 8, The Miracle. That evening, the foundation visited the hospital with the rich man. They paid for the entire treatment. They arranged the surgery. They moved Mara to a private room. They called specialist doctors. They made sure mother and son had food, clean clothes, and safety. When Eamon saw his mother on the bed with new machines around her, he whispered.
Mama, I did it.
She gently touched his face.
No, son, God did it through you.
The rich man walked in and said, "It wasn't only us. Do you know your story reached millions of people?" Eamon blinked in confusion. The man opened his phone and showed him.
Videos,
Shares, comments, donations.
thousands, then millions.
People from all around the world wanted to help the little boy who refused to give up.
Eamon broke down crying, not out of sadness.
But relief,
His mother was finally safe.
the world that stood for him. In just 48 hours, donations crossed $350,000. News channels arrived. Journalists interviewed him. His story went on national TV. Schools offered him scholarships. Organizations volunteered to rebuild their home. Thousands wrote letters of love and support. A journalist asked, "What will you do first with the money?" Eamon replied softly,
Buy my mama medicine.
"And buy more water bottles."
I still want to work. People cried hearing that.
It wasn't money he wanted. It was dignity.
A new beginning.
The surgery was successful. Mara slowly recovered, gaining strength each day. For the first time in years, she could breathe without pain. The foundation bought them a new house, small but warm, clean and safe. Eman got a scholarship to a good school, new clothes,
New shoes,
books.
a real bed.
But he still kept one thing, a crate of water bottles. When someone asked why, he replied, "These bottles saved my mom's life. They remind me never to give up." The boy with a future.
Years later,
Eman grew into a tall, confident young man. Handsome, polite, intelligent. He studied business management, graduated with honors, and joined the Bright Life Foundation, the same people who once saved him. He started a program called
Hope Bottles,
an initiative to help children in poverty start small businesses. He traveled city to city, inspiring thousands. Whenever he visited schools, children gathered around him. "So how did you become so strong?" they asked. He smiled. "I wasn't strong," he replied.
but I never stopped believing.
Chapter 12. The Final Miracle. One day, he visited the hospital where his mother was once admitted. He donated new beds, medicine, and equipment in her name. The same doctor who once told him the unbearable truth walked up and said, "You were once a scared little boy. Now look at you." Eman smiled. "Hope, sir."
Hope did this.
He looked at the sky and whispered the same words he told his mother years ago.
Mama, I kept my promise.
His mother, now healthy and strong, hugged him tightly, and the world felt right again.